What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Password. So, if you guys don't know, the last video I've done with Password had me a little bit like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was bad. Not bad as in like trash bad. Bad as in like scarring bad. But I'm back with the game because I didn't want to quit it. I didn't want to quit it, and I didn't want to take too much of a long break from it. Because this game, I love it. I love this game with all my heart. It's a really good game. I love it. And if I just stopped playing it right then and there, gave you guys no sequel to continue with, I don't know how I'd feel with myself. So, we're gonna continue off Password, hopefully finish Password Path A off. Because if you guys don't know, we still have to do other paths and all that, so it's gonna be a real doozy. But we're in this together. So, we're all in this together, chat. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment down below. Comment down below Dave. Comment down below Dave. I also realized Tyson's no longer in the main menu, which is weird. Let's continue. That day was unlike anything I've ever experienced. The pain, the guilt, everything hitting me all at once. After so long of everything being planned out just to prevent that. Dave was dead. Oh my god. Yeah, Dave died, chat. The memory of it was fuzzy, what happened next. Going downstairs, seeing him limp in Tyson's arms, Orlando wailing into the night sky. It was awful. Oh, are we speaking in Roswell's perspective? Because at the end of that night, we figured out that Roswell is Thanatos' master, right? So that would mean Roswell was behind everything, right? Huh? Oh, I'm confused. We were so busy thinking about every other way it could have gone bad, and the simplest outcome was what happened. But to make matters worse, I couldn't remember the details. What other bits and pieces were left were up to Thanatos to remember. Day question mark, that path question mark. It all came back to that one memory I had, a strong memory from a long time ago. And I only know it as one because Thanatos told me. Oh shit, is the place on fire? The worst part is I could still feel the fire prickling at my skin and fur. I could smell the smog and ash plugging up my nose, making it hard to breathe. I could hear Tyson screaming, "No, Tyson!" I could hear Tyson screaming from above, and I could taste the blood in my mouth from where I'd coughed it up. I missed the heat and pain. I knew where I was. I just didn't know why. Thanatos was there, but... Are you there? Hypnos? Hypnos? Yeah, oh yeah, that's Thanatos' original name. Hypnos. You guys don't know, Thanatos' original name was Hypnos. He wasn't talking, he wasn't really much of anything back then, apparently. Just watching, waiting, listening. I think I'm the last one alive. As much as the smog made it hard to breathe, I was able to laugh. A cold and bitter laugh despite the fire raging in the house. It was cruel reality, and it landed us here. Wait, everybody died? What? No! That means Tyson died! No! Hey, did you know this was gonna happen? He didn't give anything away, instead just watching still. I need a favor, please. He was listening. If I die, when I die, if you can save them, if you could save my friends, My vision was fading fast, but I pleaded for salvation from a robotic rat was all I had left. If not now, then for some time later, I knew what he was and what he was meant to do. So if there's any chance, no matter how small, I had to gamble on it in hopes that things wouldn't turn out this way. Hypnos, despite everyone else dying, you're gonna live on, aren't you? You're not going to die, you're just going to... He came closer, and soon there was a show of affection that he knew what was happening. You should have been caught there, Thanatos. Thanatos. He made my voice back at a slight incline of his head, gesturing the parroted it back as a question. A god of death, not sleep, but if you can't die, then... Oh wait, this is a memory. Oh, so this isn't a memory of what happened. This isn't a memory of what happened now. This isn't a memory of what happened after Dave died. This is a different memory. This is a different timeline. I am God of death. So please, Thanatos. Wow. So that was a different timeline. Save my friends. Oh, it was a dream of a different timeline. Okay, so... Wow, okay. So, okay, that explains a lot, actually. So, Roswell is Thanatos' master. And the task Thanatos has Roswell gave to Thanatos is to save everyone. Wow. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I open my eyes slowly and hey, my puppies are barking. Go home. Stop it. Go home. It's bedtime. No, don't do that. Open my eyes slowly. My head was hurting. So, morning. And notice I'm not getting up. Roswell, it's time for you to get up. He has a different font for his voice, and so I'm not gonna give him the voice I gave him. I could hear him scrambling up from the floor to the top of the bed, and I rolled over in an attempt to ignore him. I'm not ready to be awake yet. Sure you are. What day is it? Good question. Let me check. I hear the murmuring of him checking his memory for a few seconds before proudly declaring the answer. By how we've been measuring, it's the 23rd day of this irradiations experiment. So, yesterday? Oh yeah, I totally knocked you and Dave out. Oh yeah, he knocked us out. Oh, so this is like before he knocked us out. Okay, right. It says day 23 with this thing next to it. I'm suspicious. I'm suspicious. I'm saving. Oh my god, I never thought coming back to this game would be so nerve-wracking. Wait, I just realized, look at the, hold on one sec. Sorry about that, guys. But I just realized, look at the save files. Look at the save files. It's not Tyson's route anymore. We're back at like the original route. We're back at like no route. We're back at no route. Because if it was a route, like look at Tyson's. Tyson's is blue, so that would imply that we're on his route. But we're still Dave's route? But we're not playing as Dave, we're playing as Roswell. Huh. Oh yeah, totally knocked you and Dave out. Why? I thought it'd be funny. Yeah, hilarious. No, lighten up. You were fine. Dave's probably fine. What do you mean by probably? Has he not woken up since? No. I swear if you'd done something to him. That'd get us nowhere. You know I wouldn't. On purpose anyway. Do you remember what happened after I put you under yesterday? More or less, I think. Tell me. Woke up mid-afternoon, sometime before dinner. Oswald was here, injected me with something, and I felt a little better. What else? I slept for a little more. He gave me another dose, and honestly, I'm feeling pretty good at the moment. Just waking up. Just check some shit, guys. Alright, let's go. Alright, good. So, we know the way to get you up and going again. Hey, I need you to check something for me. It might take a little bit, but it's important. What? I need you to check your memory for when Dave dies again. Because I resonated again. Somehow. For some reason. Well, don't look at me. I didn't do anything. I know you didn't. I don't need you to explain it again either. I'll explain it to Dave then. Is it happening to him as well? I think so. I'll have to say. But it's no problem. I can totally check my memories for all the bad stuff. What are you gonna do in the meantime? Go back to sleep? While I do all the work? Fat chance I'm letting that happen. He kicked me lightly in an attempt to move me out of bed. Move your ass. I know I can't move you, otherwise I would. You're my mom. Or your dad. Right, so get up. Please. That's the first time I heard him say please, bro. What's wrong with sleeping a little longer? If I have to be up to work on this experiment, then you do too. I could see. This was all an experiment? Or is it just like... Notice you don't even sleep. I sleep enough. Spoken like a true college student. Coming from the guy who doesn't know what that's like. I smirked, little fear fast upon remembering why that was. Oh yeah, I forgot he has cancer. True. Sorry, I was on autopilot for a moment. It's fine. You know who else is awake? Just us, Oswald and Benson. Everyone should be in the rooms if nothing has divided from what happened before. Alright. I kicked out my feet lightly from under the covers and started to get up, pushing myself to sit and roll forward until my feet touched the carpet. It's hard to do like a deep voice for like all this time. I'm so used to doing Dave's. Where are you going? So go have a talk with Oswald. I'll be quick. Fair enough. Let me know what happens with that, alright? You're just going to stay here? You're just going to stay here after all? Well, if the bed is free, maybe I'll use it to get some sleep in. I rolled my eyes as I changed out my pajamas into proper clothes. Please do the search for me. It's important. Don't worry. I get it done after I get my voices set correctly for Dave. Wow. You're really not laying up over that. It's what Dave knows. If anything else, it just ruined the fun. You're weird. Have fun talking to Oswald. Then, before you go, how's my voice? Sufficiently ominous robotic? It's very unnecessary. I'll work on it. If I find out anything coming... Oh, so he has a robotic... I just forgotten how cold the house was. It could be so early in the morning. Many times in my childhood, I got up early and wandered around. Having the house to yourself would do that. No other kids around, no parents, though Benson and Oswald were close enough. Benson seemingly always watching Oswald, occasionally hovering off to the sides as if it was some strange creature. Even the hidden passages, I knew them all, though knowing them was not that impressive when there was only 3. The one here, and the one in the basement, and the one just outside the kitchen. They all linked up anyway. With the exception of this, a strange door that looked like Donato's has also existed in the library but on different systems. Thankfully, the code to this door was easy enough. Is that the code to Oswald's room? Though I didn't really understand the full weight of why. Part of me didn't care enough to ask. Mom was Oswald's sister. Yeah, Mom is Oswald. So Roswell's mom is Florencia. Wow. Things are actually starting to like come together. Why her name was the password to this door in particular was a mystery to me. Not that it really mattered anyway. Also, the whole concept of family was a strange one for me. With dad working long hours and mom doing the same. I was used to just spending my time alone, keeping the place manageable enough without being messy. Get my homework done, simple stuff. More often than I'd not found myself dropping off in this very house for prolonged periods of time. Semi-homeschooled, why the one other boy here, though chores were handled mostly by Benson. As I stepped into the lab, I could see Oswin there, already looking to the door. He placed the place he's been closed off, but a quick entry of the door code into the panel besides it released the lock. Good morning. I grumbled something back as I wandered closer and dropped myself into the open chair beside him. What? Not happy to see me? It's not that. Oh, well done. He always seemed so energetic when we were alone. It was almost like dealing with a tired Orlando or maybe a slightly caffeinated Dave. Still, he hurried over to the door lab and locked it again, ensuring we had privacy. Did you want to see a magic trick happen? Did you want to see a magic trick? I've been working on a new one. The magic trick? Now? I thought you liked magic tricks. I do, but of all the things you could be working on. The wind had been taking out of his sails, and he sat down heavily in his chair, swiveling as he thought. So, no magic then. Fine. Sorry if things were a little different. I'd be interested, but I had a dream last night, and I don't know what to think about it. Different to your other dreams. If Thanos were here, he'd correct me and say it was a memory. Ah, I see. So they're getting worse. Or maybe not worse, but more vivid? I can't say I'm a fan of that. What do you require of me? To listen? Alright. I breathed in deep through my nose and gathered my thoughts, looking around the lab, trying to focus. Just anywhere other than the pair of eyes staring at me. Oh, God. Oh, the music stopped. I don't know. If I was... Oh, shoot. No! Stop! I don't know. If what we've been doing... What I mean is... You can just say it. Thanos isn't here. I'm having second thoughts. I'm wondering if maybe he lied. Well, I can tell you for a fact that he wasn't invented to specifically double-cross you, or even really think of half the things he does. Right, he was just meant to be a friend. So Oswin built Thanatos as a friend for Roswell? But now you have questioned it. Other things are a bit muddied, right? One way to say it, sure. From one of his drawers, he pulled up a small piece of wrapped candy, handed it over to me. After I had taken it, he grabbed one for himself and started unwrapping it idly. You know, Roswell, things are bad enough. If you wanted things to stop, you could still stop them. I know, but what would the cost be? Not one I'm willing to pay, mind you. He regarded me over his glasses with a piece of candy still half unwrapped in his fingers, mine untouched. It's unlike you to turn down a piece of candy. I unwrapped the rest of it and the rest of the way and put it in my mouth. Something fruity and sugary. The faintest hint of tartness made my mouth pucker as if rolled it to press against my cheek. That's better. Oh, it's just... You've been here making things so much more complicated. If you weren't, I could have just, gotten it done. Lived with the guilt for a couple of weeks and then that'd be that. I'd be dead. But everyone else would be alive. It's not as if me being here really has stopped your attempts, however. Even in attempting Benton's murder, no doubt. Excuse me? He looked over to the door as making sure it was still closed before sliding closer to me, bringing his voice low. I know your determination to save your friends is that strong, but you'd willingly shoot Benson? You'd even considered making him a target? Does it matter? Dave stopped it. And it's not as if he's one of my friends. He grabbed me hard by the ear, enough that I squealed in pain. It was just as quickly pulled into his chest, somehow an awkward hug. You listen here, boy. Benson is family. You do well to respect your elders. By the pause. To be frank, I don't think he'd let you kill him. Unless he, well, let you kill him. And if he did, where's the problem? You said yourself that you didn't want me making my friends murderers, or me living with the guilt of killing one of them myself. So Roswell was going to kill Benson on... Oh... I know you weren't raised to be that warped in your logic. Where's your compassion? You try dealing with these nightmares of seeing everyone dead, Oz. How about you deal with the prospect of that countless times that you don't even remember you're responsible for the death of those you care about? Watch your tone. The worst part? I still don't know if I'm doing it right. If I screw up, everyone dies. I'm stuck between watching everyone die or choosing to save any number of them. I can by doing awful things. You relax and I pulled away, dropping back into my chair. It's not fair. But what choice do I have? You don't need to tell me. You don't need to tell me that you always have a choice, Roswell. I just wish the choice were better. So do I, Roswell. So do I. I should maybe go make coffee or breakfast or something. Before you go, are you still fine with me coming with me into the woods? Me? Sure. It makes sense. Though I don't know why you'd want to double check that. Because it's polite. Although, also, I want to make sure that you are actually wanting to come. I have something important for you. Give it to me now. Not while Thanos is around. He's always going to be around. He's going to be around long after I die. You die. Long after everyone dies. And will remember and tell me anything relevant anyway. Not this. Not this. This is something I'd rather you not hear from him in any loop of the universe. Being weird, but fine. If Thanatos was going to be weird, I guess you get a pass too. But thank you, my dearest nephew. This is so sweet. Like, really. God. Though, on the topic of Thanatos, where is he now? In my room, checking his memory for me. He seemed to contemplate on that, almost wanting to say something, but he headed back. If he wasn't going to pry, then I wasn't going to offer anything. Did you want anything from the kitchen, Oz? I could hear him mumble under his breath. Something about me calling him uncle. I ignored it. I wanted to wait for his real answer. No, thank you. I shall see you later, Roswell. I went back through the passage and closed behind it once I emerged from the basement. It was quiet. I could hear movement. Had the others started to uprise already? Had something happened? Each step made me head upstairs towards the foyer, made it clear just in case. Peeking around the corner when I emerged to check about my breath caught in my chest briefly, and I pulled my head back. Oh my God, Dave! It's Dave! Hi! Look at him! It was Dave! Oh my God! Look at him! It was Dave, dancing back and forth, lost in thought. I just watched him for a bit, wandering around without having noticed me. At some point, I figured I'd wait long enough to make myself known. Dave? Roswell? Oh my God, look! Oh, look at him! Boy, look at the yin boy. He looks so cute! Oh my God, look at him! Okay, I'm gonna be real. I've seen a couple spoilers with Dave, but actually like seeing him in game is like, oh my god, look at him. Okay, focus, guys, focus. This motherfucker fucking died last video. He quickly looked around for someone or something, and sighed in relief upon not seeing whatever it was he was seeing. For a moment, I thought, well, what? Donatos, after yesterday. Ah, that, right. I could see the expression he was giving me, somewhere between suspicious and concerned, but honestly, I had my own worries. Had he figured it out? Had Donatos let something slip up? How often he'd been partnering up with Dave, I just had to trust that he had things under control. Are you feeling okay? Yeah, I'm feeling, well, better than I did yesterday, that's for sure. Do you know why? Shy of bed rest? It'd likely be something Osmond drugged me with. Said it takes some time to kick in, but it should get me going. Wait, when did this happen? It seemed Thanatos was telling the truth. Dave was fine, but must have been out of it up until this morning. When, look at his face. He's serious. I guess it'd have been some time after you found me in the rec room? After you knocked me out, you mean? After you knocked both of us out. But you woke up sometime after that. Yeah, so Osmond injected me with something. He really needs to stop doing that. Given how much better I'm feeling by comparison, I think I'd be willing to give him a pass on it. So, no Thanatos, and no idea why he did what he did. No Thanatos? Dave was expecting to see Thanatos? Was Dave expecting to see Thanatos? Had nothing at all happened to him between what happened back then and now? Maybe keeping him unconscious was the way to go after all. At this rate, he couldn't do anything to put himself in danger. Roswell? Sorry, maybe that's the short answer anyway. And the long answer? Do you remember much about what happened when you came to the rec room yesterday? I showed up, you had a medal, and said it was a trap. Yeah. So it's saying everything. So they're having the exact same conversation they were having, but now we're in Roswell's point of view, so we're seeing like his thoughts and everything. I went over to the stairs and sat down, curling on my chin. Felt out how Thanatos had guided me there in a drug-addled haze. I'm getting notifications from somewhere, guys. My phone's vibrating, but I'm getting notifications from somewhere, but yet I cannot see shit. Let me just... Where the hell am I? Get a notification from somewhere, chat. Alright. Admittedly, I don't really remember how I got to the rec room. Just that I was kind of in a daze. I remember running into Thanatos somewhere just outside my room, though he must have led me there. And the medal? That part I remember. He handed it over to me shortly after I collapsed into the beanbag. Alright, and the medal is where now? In my room. But when he handed it over, the only thing I remember saying something like, now we just have to wait for the hyena to show up. And a few minutes later, you did. You knew it was a trap just from that? You tell me, Dave. I don't think throwing you a party upon your arrival was the plan. Yeah, you're probably right. Alternatively, I breathed a sigh of relief. If there was one constant constant. Yeah, sorry guys. A plan. It was how readily Dave was willing to let things go. Infuriating for any number of people for sure, but really convenient when the poor guy kept putting himself in harm's way. I didn't think the trap was going to be a literal sound trap though. What does it get out of him by knocking both of us out though? And why was I out until this morning but you were woken up? I couldn't tell you. Maybe it was because I was being medicated was why I woke up. Not that I was awake for long before sleeping again. It was something I had to bring up with Thanatos again. There wasn't much a good reason why Dave would be unconscious for that much longer. Then I did, unless he'd done something different to him. But given we're both in the room when the soundtrack went off, I had no idea. I may take a page out of Tyson's book when I see him again. Thanatos needs to stop being a jerk and knocking people out. Catch him off guard near an open window, you might be able to enjoy a little bit of defenestration. I'd probably be fine with throwing him out a window, if only once. I feel my eyebrow going up and the faintest smile crossing my face. You know what that word means? Before coffee, even? Yeah. Wait, he didn't know it before, though. Wait, Dave didn't know before. Oh, Day 23. So, I think this is another timeline. It says day 23. I don't know what you call this. Asphorus or something? But I think this is another timeline where everything happened as it usually was, but something changed. I don't know what, but it has to be, right? He didn't seem convinced, almost confused as to how he knew the word. Maybe he just got lucky, maybe he'd forgotten he knew, but he ended up just stroking it off. So what happens now? I did have something I wanted to talk to you about, actually. Are you really fine with going into the woods later with Oswin? For Dominic's thing, I mean? Before I could reply, he shook his head, continuing within a brief pause, he allowed himself to breathe. I know it makes sense for you to go. I know that it's all relatives as far as being fine, too. What's your plan if something goes wrong? Being lucky isn't going to cut it. Where's this coming from all of a sudden? You're not normally so alert or, it's important, Roswell. If you must know, yeah, I was counting on my luck. I don't think anything else can really do compares to what an organized crime family has as far as resources go. I seemed good to speak, but I shook my head, cutting him off, much in the same. I love when he looks angry. I love when he looks angry. Like, look at the boy. Look at him. Look at him. He's just angry. He's angry, guys. Look at him. He needs to calm down. Dave, you need to calm down. You need to calm down, Davey boy. Boop. You'll have Benson and the others. You can make a plan for the worst, but there's no sense in worrying too much about it. Just have some faith, Dave. Faith. He repeated the word and shook his head awkwardly, standing there still rather than joining me and sitting on the stairs. Hey, can I ask a favor? Sure. I feel that with everything going on, it might be a good idea to keep tabs on Orlando. Alright, what about you though? Me? What about me? What are you planning on doing between now and when you leave? Well, I suppose I should go contingency plan, get a whatever that word is, plan down, talk to Sal and Tyson too while I think about it. How come? They'll likely be able to help Benson the most. Dean is the backup in case something goes wrong out in the woods. Rescue mission stuff. Alright. But can we get coffee? I haven't had any yet, and this is a lot to sit on while we wait for the others. We made the coffee inside the dining room. Dave lost in his own head and only barely sipping down while I gulped down the sugary brew. I needed to be alert and brain working at full capacity. This was the problem that I have to a solution after all. But less than that, and more nervous about what Thanatos might find in his memories, was what I'd seen the glimpse of. Oh my god. Sorry, guys. Did I need to stop Dave from entering the forest at all cost? Ooh, so we stopped Dave from entering the forest. I left when all the others started to file under the guise of needing to mentally prepare myself for later on. Though Dave's look told me he was suspicious. Something felt off about what was happening. Not wrong, maybe different. It was worth consulting with Thanatos about it, or maybe just checking with Oswin. Thanatos? He turns to me and mild bounce as he was jumping up and down on the bed. What? What are you doing? Taking a break from searching my memories. How was breakfast go? Fine. How did checking your memories go? Also fine. There were a few moments of silence before he resumed jumping, as if that was going to answer my question. So... hold on, chat, because I want to see it. No, Ren isn't online. So what? I checked it. What do you want to know? Are we going to be running into any problems? You know, saving Dave? Oh, I don't know. Probably? What do you mean? That was the point of me asking you to run that search. Hey, don't get snippy with me. You weren't specific enough. Now, if you were to ask nicely, and honest, if Dave dies because of you neglecting to tell me what is about to happen, he won't. Calm down. We just need to do something. That something being? Here's a plan. You're going to go into the woods with dearest uncle, right? I groan, palming my face, giving him a lazy nod. Perfect. How about we don't do that, and we make someone else go instead? And how exactly is that stopping Dave from dying? Beats me. But if you're around, then that's an extra set of eyes. Besides, the worst case scenario is that something happens and we get a do-over. The point is, we shouldn't need a do-over. If you already seen all this happen before. Okay, but how's you going to the woods keeping you safe? It's not. That's why I volunteered. I'm going to die anyway. There's no stopping that from happening, mind you. So I should wear the risk. But then what about me? Why don't I get a say in this? You do, but you were the one that carried that message through time and space to me about wanting my friends alive. That I asked you to save them. We are saving them. Sort of. Well, it's becoming increasingly hard to believe that when the way to keep most of them alive means murdering one or more of them. I collapsed on the bed, and I was merely bouncing on the spot with the bed that he'd chosen. So the plan is to what? Knock me out? Well, if that's going to work, then sure. All it takes is me swiping an inject, but from the lab and jabbing you when no one's looking. Well, we're going to need to hold off just a little bit. I've already spoken to Dave and thrown him out of Orlando to keep him out of the way. Meaning? I also said I was going to talk to Sal and Tyson about contingencies for when I head into the woods. I should at least do that before you do anything to my story stays straight. Fine. I imagine Oswin's going to be in his lab for a little bit longer anyway, so I need to wait until he's sleeping. Alright, sounds like the plan. Thanks, Thanatos. You're welcome. I want to search on Dave just in case, but if all goes well, I imagine Oswin is just gonna take Dean with him. Oh, so Dean needs to go with Oswin. Said he knows how to navigate the woods, right? As well as anyone could, I guess. At no point my memory's been revealed to be on ground level, so yeah, no. I could have just told you that. You never know. Could have been a long con. No offense to Dean, but he's not exactly organized crime material. Yeah, well, if anything goes wrong to this body, he's still the best candidate to fix me. So we need him. I didn't mean that he was dumb, just homely. Anyways, I'll be back later. I'm gonna go talk to Sal. Oh my god, doing two deep voices at the same time, guys. Here we go. When I got to the conservatory again, I realized just how careless I'd been in the passage still being wide open when I'd taken it before. Thankfully, it didn't seem to be a problem for much longer. Ah, good morning, Roswell. Osman said he's spoken to you already. Yeah, I shook his head, standing inside the passage as if assumingly I was going to be taking it down. He was right though. I stepped forward and started across the threshold into the door. Before you go, I had something I wish to say. Oh? It might not be registered to you, or perhaps you do not care. But I see Oswin as my son. You told me this before. And it warrants saying again, I implore you, do not go hurting my boy. I won't. Sam quickly found my shoulder and I was spun around to face him. See to it that you don't. This is not a threat, though I am not above threatening someone that poses danger to my family. Gave him a funny look, eyes flicking the door before dropping my voice into a whisper. Am I included on this list of family? He straightened, eyes also going to the door before settling back on mine as he went to the bookshelf. Including you, Roswell. Now hurry along. I suspect you have places to be. I barely cleared the threshold of the passage before he closed it shut behind me. Just as well, given it was probably for the best, people didn't start asking who I was going. Though Benson and Oswin was a convenient excuse, with people too eager for dollars to turn, chances are the run of the house was all mine. I passed the laboratory and found the door open and stuck my head inside. No Oswin from what I could see, though the first step inside was a mistake. Got you! Hey, put me down! He grabbed me and suddenly lifted me off the ground. Though oh my god. Now I'm seeing this in Roswell's perspective. Oswin's such a, Oswin. He's such a loving and caring. Though it didn't last from how I immediately tried to pry myself away, even without me doing doing anything from the strain on his face told me he couldn't keep it up. You've grown a far bit. You're calling me heavy? I'm not. I'm also going to add on that you're really unfit for someone that has a gym in his house. Mind your manners, boy. I am. You were the one that decided to lift me off the ground without any warning. Once upon a time, you love having me pick you up. You go to walk around in the hedge maze, have a look at the greenhouse, sit in the pool. Why are you choosing to reminisce this now? You looked away slowly, taking longer than you should have to reply. I am taking what chance I get. Meaning, we both know you're on borrowed time. On top of that, what's happening later is very dangerous for us both. Tell me about it. Then Alice was already suggesting that I don't go with you. It'd be alright with that if I had my way. Really? Even knowing it's the right choice? Sometimes it's not about the right choices. Sometimes there's no right choices. I don't get the feeling you're not being obtuse for fun. Roswell, surely you can't be as blind as what's going on as you are pretending to be. I'm not blind. I'm not deaf either. Then prove it. What is it that I'm referring to? It could be many things, but if I had to guess, I stepped away from him to sit down by his desk, talking to Sal and Tyson Kuwait. Oswin came to join me. You're talking about my motives. In a sense. It's talking about my decision to do nothing and watch all my friends die, or actively kill one of them to save the rest. Horrible deed to commit the most good. And is it worth it? You tell me. He huffed through his nose, eyes narrowing behind those glasses of his. You can see what effects my sins has on me, boy. What I had to give up as a punishment. You look miserable. What else? But you're still fighting for something or someone. I don't know. For you, Roswell. Me? What? I felt my body tense up and begin to shake. I didn't understand. I know that expression. You're worth fighting for, if only for a little bit longer. What? Because you're my uncle? Because it's the right thing to do, and nothing more. Because I'm dying. Not entirely. And what? I'm doomed to die. I'm living the best I can with what time there is left, but that doesn't mean you should be fighting for me. There's no hope at the end of this road. So what? You're telling me to give up? Yes! Kind of. Maybe. I don't know. Why are you fighting for me? What do you get out of it? Do I need a reason to want to fight for my nephew? So caught up in saving Dave. Who's saving you? I can't be. It's why I'm the best one to pick when it comes to collateral damage, or sacrifices, or being put in harm's way. It's just the most logical option. And you're really fine with that. I'm the one resolved with it, yes. That doesn't answer the question. What am I meant to say? That I'm terrified that one day I'll go to sleep and not wake up? That the day is going to be sometime within the next week while everyone's in danger? Roswell, that's not what I meant. Then what do you mean? He got up, wandered over to the shelf, and looked around for something. Then he suddenly stopped, his hand got into his pocket before returning empty-handed. I want you to try to remember something. Okay? What? You remember when Thanatos woke up? What he did? Yeah, he seemed to be a mess, and I felt bad that my little rat friend was upset. Do you remember what you did right after? Yeah. I didn't fight it, letting my uncle hug me carefully and gently, unlike how he grabbed me the previous 2 times already. And do you remember what you asked one day out of the blue? Do you remember how scared you were when you asked? If I asked if you could help me save my friends, Thanatos had finally told me everything. And what did I say? That you'd help me. That it wasn't going to be easy, and there was going to be a hard decision, but that you'd help. And I helped you because you mean a great deal to me, Roswell. I helped because at the end of the day, I did not want to sit by and watch people die again. Even after the medical trial was a mistake by a naive man who threw caution into the wind to do good. I'm not about to let you do the same thing if I can. He's actually hugging him. This is so wholesome, bro. I'm a very emotional person, so I'm tearing up right now a little bit, but it's okay, guys. It's okay. It's just wholesome. It's wholesome. You hear him sniffle, though he didn't move his hands away to wipe any tears he was crying. I do not wish to watch you die a pointless death. I do not wish to watch your final precious moments in my life be wasted in despair from watching those you care about die horrible deaths. Even knowing that I was doomed, that if I saved them, I wouldn't be around to enjoy it. Did you ask yourself that question when you made your decision? Was it made in hopes that you'd be able to spend time with them? No, just that they'd get to keep living. So, is this entire experiment Roswell trying to save everyone? Even himself? Hey, stop it. No. No. We're gonna relax. So is this entire experiment just based on one goal to save all of his friends? Wow. If that's the case, wow. Many iterations of the universe, many timelines, many times that they've been through everything. The real question is, what is the experiment? That's what I want to find out. What is this experiment? What is everything? I need to find out. So if you say that you want to come into the woods with me because you feel like it, I'll keep your friends safe. I will not fight you. I may not want it, but the decision is yours to make. You know something, Osman? What, Roswell? You're a great wizard. You sure do make a great magician's assistant. Thank you, my dearest nephew. I should probably go talk to Sal or Tyson or something. Try and make sure there's a plan in case things go wrong out there. Alright, but, before you go, may I make a selfish request? Depends on the request. Could you, call me... You know what? It's not important. Never mind. I wandered closer to the door as he seemed to make himself busy, suddenly stopping as I went to leave. Oh, thanks for the hug, Uncle. He snapped quickly to look at me, eyes hinting that he was holding back from saying something else, or hoping that I could hear whatever thoughts he was going through his head. Fortunately for him, as much as I liked the call, I couldn't read minds. Just had to stay focused and get done with what I needed before it was too late. I closed the entry to the basement behind me, hearing movement down here. I was wandered to the gym. I nodded, hopefully that I find at least one of the two. Tyson, probably. Hello? Anyone here? Hey! Tyson! It's Tyson! Hi! Tyson! Guys, it's Tyson! Look, it's Tyson! I'm taking a picture and sending it to Run, guys. I'm taking a picture and sending it. Oh my god! It's Tyson. The moment I called out, the smell hit me. None of the sweat or anything like that, but the dust from the lack of lack of use now airborne being. Roswell, how are you doing? How are you? Sal looked over at Tyson, who was busy lifting weights. He didn't even seem to register I'd arrived, though he could wait. I'm doing okay. Just okay though. Alright. Hey, I don't mean to bother you, but can we talk? Me? Yeah, it's kind of important. I can come by later if I'm interrupting, but both briefly look over at Tyson, who seemed to be in his own world as he lifted the same weight over and over in a slow, repeated movement. It'll be fun for a while. Let's step off to the side, given I should keep an eye out in case something goes wrong. As we did, he suggested and gestured that I could start talking, though I realized I hadn't really prepared for anything specific. I wanted to talk about later today, if that's alright. About you hanging off with Dominic? Yeah. Alright, what? Well, if I head into the woods and the worst happens, I want to make sure that there's a plan to, you know, keep you all safe. Have you all been thinking about what to do? Admittedly, not really. Although it would have been nice, we're still hoping for the best. Any plan we make, assuming failure, isn't great for moral at the moment. What if something does go wrong? What if it's bad enough that you have to act or die? I understand, but perhaps don't go assuming things will be that bad. So realistically, things aren't great at the moment. So I want to know that if I go out there, when I go out there, we have a plan in case I don't make it back. Have you spoken to anyone else about this? I mentioned it to Dave. He's hopefully keeping Orlando distracted, but you know, if not, slowly looking over at Tyson briefly. If you do not return, know that it will be likely not wanting to move in case you're just late. Doing that, you risk Memphis arriving instead. It is a difficult situation to put. Hi. Oh, hello. You two doing anything interesting? No. Great. I need to borrow Roswell for a moment. Don't want to explain it here. Just follow. Is there a reason? Gee, I'm sure there is, Sal. I'm giving him more of the scruffy robotic voice. I don't give a shit, guys. Oh, well, alright. I'm not going to ask what reason it is. I'm inclined to be he'll skirt around telling the truth or flat out deny me anyway. I would ask to follow, but leaving Tyson unsupervised seems like a poor choice. Right. Well, I'll fill you in when I come back. I need to talk to Tyson anyway, so hopefully he's less busy. Yeah, can we go now? So, Jim towards the stairs, and then once we were there, safely view of the gym, he scurried up on my shoulder. Then from the side corridor, I checked to see if the coast was clear. From what I could see, Haas and Dean were standing outside the back door looking out the windows. And now was pointing me in that direction of one of the side rooms, and I headed there quickly, just in case someone spotted him on my shoulder. Alright, what's wrong? What happened? He jumped off my shoulder back onto one of the sofas and began to pace along the length. It took a moment to close the door quietly so he had a little more freedom to. We have a problem. A big problem. How big of a problem are we talking? Biggest. That doesn't narrow it down. I finished checking my memory. It's bad. So Dave still dies? On the last loop, it was my fault. And before you go complaining, I already apologized. How did it happen? From what I remember, we went with my plan to knock you out, which I'll remind you was against what I wanted. Way to rub salt on the wound. But anyways, it's bad. Meat hook? Thankfully. Meat hook? Wait, what? Meat hook? Thankfully, no. I shuddered at the memory of it. One of the first and with it more frequent nightmares that I've been given by my... Oh, so Dave has died in multiple ways before. Alright, well... You still remember him dying that way, do you? Yeah, it's in the shack in the middle of nowhere. But don't remember anything of how you got out of the way. Beats me. I can only assume that Orlando and I went looking for Dave in the woods for some reason. Which is sort of what happened to you. You just said there was no hook. That wasn't. You know what I mean. So what do we got to work with? I don't know. I wasn't out there. Tell me what you did see then. Dave just shows up dead, carried by Tyson out of the woods. I flicked him quickly on the nose and reeled him fumbling, almost falling backwards, cushioned mine. Start at the beginning, at the part where you knocked me out. Do that again, and we're gonna have issues. Naturally, I took the invitation. Hey! Bananas, you just admitted that you screwed up. How do we fix it? Rat. Jerk. Fine. So in lieu of you not being able to go out, Oswin picks someone else. Makes sense, right? And that part doesn't make sense as why he chooses Dave, right? Well, then why? I mean, there isn't really any other way that would have played out, right? Explain. Dave would be the most likely to volunteer up to his friends to keep him safe. It's the whole reason he finds himself in danger more times than not. That is true. Dave wants to be the fucking main character, which he is, but still. Fortunately, this one was all Oswin. Dean was ready to volunteer, but he chose Dave for some dumb reason. What was the reason? Some dumb reason. I don't know. Never bothered to ask. In the aftermath, everyone was a mess. Oswin pulled you away pretty quick, but things went downhill fast. I was almost scared to ask, drawing back from the sofa a little bit, but then I was need to continue. Naturally, Memphis shows up, bombs in tow, doesn't even bother to use them. What does he do? Dominic and Dax show up. Oh my god! Kill Tyson without him fighting back. Still holding on to Dave. Oh no, ooh. Orlando tries to get in the way of his dad and gets shot. Memphis torches the place with Haas, Oswin, Benton, myself, and you still inside. And Sal? Don't know. I got offline before I could get tabs on him. Last I saw, he was outside. I wandered on the sofa and collapsed onto it, running my hands over my face. So I have to be the one that goes in. Well, that's not exactly the takeaway I would have suggested, but your options are preventing Dave from going in, which removes that outcome from the board entirely. Or we engineer a set of circumstances that make him better armed or out there to begin with. This is so confusing. So, oh my god, without Tyson fight, he was holding on to Dave. Of course he wouldn't be fighting back while he's getting fucking stabbed or shot in the fucking throat. I don't know. Bro, that death scene had me crying. That death scene had me crying though, guys. Without knowing how things played out, we'd be guessing. And iterative testing takes, well, a really long time. I'll do it for you if you really want me to, though. No, the goal should be less irritations, the better. It'll be easier on you, easier on me. In case it goes wrong, I don't know the solution. Want my input? I'm not promising I'll follow it, but sure. You going in is highly likely to end in your death. I'm aware. I don't think you do, Master. I do. If it's not my body expiring, then it's being killed in the hands of people with much more violent, stronger, and healthy than I am. Wiles will not ensure my survival at any point. But if you're dead, how can you save Dave? I can't save Dave after I'm dead anyway. There's every chance that the moment I die, a couple days pass and a tragic accident I have no way of stopping happens to him instead. So it's all meaningless. There's no answer to this problem you asked me to solve after all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I can only affect there, here, and now. I can make the best use of my life to give someone else a better one, even if for a little bit longer. Just doesn't seem fair. Life isn't fair. It never is. So I just have to watch you die. We get to the point where Dave survives and that's it? We just make that the prime timeline and repeat ad infinitum? There's no other option, is there? I thought you liked to gamble. Within reason. Then get Oswin to conduct his own experiment. Make him mix up a cure, and I'll remember the notes for him. Use me to save your life rather than Dave's. You heard it from him yourself. There isn't a cure, but there might be. Much alive, instead I found my mouth tighten in a grimace and eyes dropping away. I knew there was a possibility, or was once a possibility. Not anymore. Not in order for this path to even exist. I knew pointing out that sample was a bad idea. It wasn't just you pointed it out. The closer I am to death, the more vivid my resonations are. The less I need to rely on you to just have them happen. So that's how it happens? The closer you are to your death, the more visions and the more vivid the memories are. That's how it happens. Wow. Didn't expect you to inject yourself with a Cryptococcus nephorium sample, but it did work. Treating me for meningitis symptoms is easy enough for Oswin as well. Meningitis? Though with a body-wide fungal infection alongside whatever degenerative genetic anomaly is happening to me. Well, one of those was by choice, if you hadn't done that. Then Dave would have likely died already. There was never an option to go through with it, even if we wanted to keep repeating those mistakes. I disagree, but there's no point in stopping it now. So, what's the plan? Keep Dave alive. And to do that, you tell me, Master. We're going to set things up that Dave, under no circumstances, goes into the woods. Then, later, I'll go with Oswald. I'm just meant to watch. Yes. I need you to watch. So that if things go bad after I'm in the woods, you can tell me next time we hit this point. Next time. Ooh! Next time they hit this point. And if I just never tell you about Dave's death, then you're trapped repeating this over and over without end. This isn't fair. I just told you life isn't fair. What choice do we have? There's another option. What if we just leave? Let them die. Let all of them die. But we just pivot into stopping anyone else from getting access. You mean like Memphis? Think about it. He's programmed in it. Oh, he's programmed in the vault? What happens if he gets access to the vault? I don't know. Imagine what could happen if Magla Manical gun toddling beast got the ability to see his own mistakes. What damage he could do? He came up over and sat on my lap, squirming his way into a comfortable position and turning to make me rest back half a slouch. That's what we risk by doing all this. We save Dave, and then what? You die? We somehow make that timeline prime, but what good does it do if it ends with Memphis in control? So the prime timeline is the timeline So is the prime timeline like a timeline where the experiment went a success and everything's good? Everybody lives, everybody gets off the mountain, everybody pursues their careers in life, everybody lives happily ever after. Hasn't that happened yet? No, not yet, but it's been close a few times. That's been the deciding factor. That he gets fed up and destroys the place with me in it. At the cost of everyone else too? No doubt. You don't need me to confirm that for you. Just know that we're in it. So much danger, it's not funny. Never said it was hilarious. Just tell me that I made the right choice. I don't think I'm quite built for right or wrong calculations. I just do as I'm told. And you told me to save your friends. So if I never asked, then I'd be stuck watching this vacation play over and over, watching you all die and it ending in that fire. Great. I picked him up and sat him back on the shoulder, going to the door of the room. You said the last loop Dave died, right? And things are playing out the same. What do I tell Sal as far as a plan? Tell him a lie. Say that I told you it works out fine, but if they take the road, they need to wait until the house starts burning before crossing the gap. And he'll believe that? He'll believe you. Whether or not he acts on it is another thing. But he won't question you if you're lying. He'll question if I'm lying. But once you assure him that I'm not, we're good to go. And Tyson? That's where things get tricky. Just be honest. Honest about what you want. Mention Dave, and the simpleton will listen. Alright. Time to go then. I'll drop you off at the basement and you go do something. Maybe go spy on Dave and Orlando upstairs. Maybe go check in with Benson and Oswin. I'll figure it out. Head back over, noticing that Dean and Haas hadn't moved from the back door. They hadn't noticed us. And once safely downstairs again, we split off to what we needed to do. Phil and Tyson looked up as if entering. It seems as though they were done working out, or at the very least Tyson had stopped. Sorry about that. Everything's, I won't say fine, but you know. Tyson. We got Tyson, guys. Look at him. My mouse is on him. So, what did you want? Just telling me what's going to happen tonight with Dominic. Any good news? I get the impression that he doesn't typically give good news, Tyson. Well, great. Sal, so what was I saying before about a plan? Right, a plan. Do you have one in mind? I do, kind of. Let's hear it. So, in the worst case scenario, you'll need to escape by going to the main road. Fine. But what about Orlando and the others? It will work, Thanatos says it will. I don't know. Though, he did say to wait until the house started to burn. Don't try before then. So what, we let the house catch on fire and then bail? Presumably we were watching from the road for the smoke. I don't think he's meant for us to run for it after the house is already on fire with us inside. But this is if I don't come back. Remember, hopefully I do know the safe way out. Hopefully, and we could all just leave instead. I understand. Though convincing certain others to stay put will be difficult. I mean, Dave. I wasn't going to say it so bluntly, but yes. On that, Tyson, can I talk to you? About? I think we should talk. Talking right now. No, I mean, something more personal. Okay. He means privately, Tyson. It's alright, Sal. We can step out. Maybe just have a little quick talk in the basement. It won't take long. With some coaxing from Sal, Tyson followed behind me into the basement, and I continued leading him across to the vaults. I was nervous, pacing as I tried to figure out how to approach this, and I said to be honest, so I just had to go for it. So, this is about Dave. What about him? You're not about to start something because we're dating, are you? No, nothing like that. Something more serious. Serious how? So, we both love Dave, and we want what's best for him. Hell, we all want what's best for Dave. Your point. Well, when I go into the woods, if there's ever a chance he's going to either want to follow or get in the way somehow, he's too selfish in wanting to keep everyone safe. Oh yeah, what do you expect? I need a favor. I need you to stop Dave from going into the woods by any means necessary. Sure, easy enough. His tone and lack of attention implied that he was brushing me off, and I clenched my jaw in frustration. No, if you're going to follow through this, you need to do everything you can do to stop him. Distract him, keep him preoccupied with something, lock him in his room if you need to. If you don't, he'll die. The moment I said the magic words, I knew I had his attention properly. If Dave leaves the house today, you won't get him back. Bullshit. Thanatos told me that's what happens. That's why it has to be me that goes out. I have a shot of surviving. And you're saying Dave doesn't? I'm saying it's proven that if he goes out, he dies. Otherwise, Thanatos wouldn't have come to tell me just before to tell you that it's going to happen. I don't believe you. What would it take for you to believe me? This is for Dave. We don't like each other. So how do I know if this is some sort of trick? Wouldn't it be the first time? That was before. Before what? Before I understood how much you mean to Dave. What do you mean? You were horrible to us as kids. For as little as I was around, I still remember. I remember the mean things you did. I've heard about the other stuff and you did after I left. I heard about what you were like to Orlando too. He stood there quietly, eyes occasionally flicking to the floor rather than staying locked with mine. And somehow, despite all of that, he's willing to defend you. Do you know what his argument against me was when I brought it up with him about inviting you? What? That you change. He didn't want to acknowledge that you did bad things. He didn't think about how that would have affected myself or Orlando, just that you were important enough to bring along. I have changed because of him. I have changed. Which is great, and it was bad of me to assume that after so long he didn't have a positive influence on you. But that's not going to make what you did back then magically okay. I went to speak, but I cut in first, pointing at him decisively with a finger. But you know But you know what will? Keeping Dave alive. Keeping him safe. When I found out you were so entrenched in his life, I worried that you were going to break him apart after I was gone. I wouldn't. Then prove it. Do this for me, and it'll be okay. That's what I want as an apology. Fine. Dave comes first. And I'm sorry for every wrong assumption I made about you. Yeah, well, I'm sorry too. For the shit I did as a kid. I nodded and we stood there awkwardly in silence before Tyson gestured towards the vault door. So, it's pretty messed up, huh? What? The vault? Yeah, he's been messing with Dave and his whole vacation, and now we don't know if we're even getting home. You will. All of you will. So long as there's just precautions taken. Dave's been too busy trying to save us. It's time someone stepped in and actively tried to save him, rather than what? Just trying to keep him out of the way. I don't think I get it, but yeah. I'm for actively doing something. Just actually try and get back, yeah. He's gonna be upset if you don't even try. Don't worry, I want to come back. Seems to satisfy Tyson, and he left to continue working. The plan was to go drag Dave away from Orlando to keep him occupied, which is exactly what we needed. Hopefully it was enough. That left me there standing in front of the vault with my thoughts. What was I going to do? Would the plan actually work if I left with Oswin later? The more I thought about it, I ran through the possible scenarios in my head. Oswin would leave, get caught up in the others, get caught up at the other end as collateral. I'd maybe return, and if I did, everyone would get out. If I didn't, Memphis torched the place. At least everyone would attempt the main road. They wouldn't be caught up with it, not potentially working with a lie. It was passed on that it would. I returned to my room and waited for the rest of the day. The door slightly cracked open so I could hear activity in the house. Tyson came in and collected Dave at some point and dragged him off somewhere. Orlando paced around the floors nervously. Not that I could blame him. The house was scarce, keeping himself busy with something or held up somewhere. I couldn't tell. But the hours started to tick. With nothing happening and my own thoughts half drowning my perception of what was around me. Hey, Dave. It's Davey boy. Aww. It's Dave, guys. I looked up. There he was, without Tyson. Hey, what's up? Nothing much, just taking a break from Tyson. He's been a bit, overbearing. A little. He does this sometimes when he's worried about something or hiding something, or both. Any idea what? I have some ideas, but if I'm being honest, it's kind of nice. Makes me feel normal that everyone else is stressed out. Oh, he's smiling! He's smiling! That's not something I'd be happy about, Dave. Or, well, I guess you're not happy, just relieved, probably. Yeah, it's closer to that. It was bad enough seeing Orlando stressed out past him on the way here, and he was, struggling. Did you say anything? Tried to check in, but he sort of made a sound. What kind of sound? Like a distressed gay sound. You know, an Orlando sound. What's an Orlando sound? A gay distress sound, you know, an Orlando sound. That doesn't really narrow it down. You know, like that pitiful whine that I make sometimes, but you know, but more, you know, like a gay dragon. I was floored, choosing instead to stare with a worried smile. Anyways, how are you doing? Fine. For the most part, anyway, considering what's going to happen. So, about that, I wanted to ask you something. What is it? I wanted to. No, 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 no. No, Dave, no. I wanted to come too. No. But I have a good reason. What possible reason could you have that would just justify putting yourself in danger? Besides, the deal was just for one person to be collateral. He won't consider letting two people come to report back just in case? There's no reason why he'd do that, Dave. Besides, there's no guarantee that he's even going to tell me where it is. So that's just it. We're back to waiting. Pretty much. Okay. I could tell by his tone that he was planning something, but something felt off somehow. Are you feeling okay? Like everything going alright? Kichi, you don't sound fine. I promise, I'm fine. Aside from the stress of today and looking forward to getting home, making me feel a bit all over the place, I'm holding up better than Orlando at least. Okay. Not that I believed him for a moment, but it was better than trying to probe information out from someone based on hunch alone. Well, I'll let you get back to waiting. If anything happens, I'll, be around, I guess. He left, leaving the door open as he rounded the corner. Almost immediately, I heard Tyson yelling at him and Dave barking back. Apparently, Tyson had taken my request to heart and was making a big deal about Dave disappearing on him. If it wasn't for his own good, I might have felt bad. When everything had settled down, I headed downstairs to see how things were going. I see the front door open with housekeeping watch out. Back there was Dean! Hi! As I opened the back door, Dean turned to face me. Oh, hey Roswell. Nothing's happened yet. Just waiting still. That's alright. He'll show up. I hope so. The waiting is starting to get to us. House has already taken watch by the front door just in case. Standing around together didn't really get us anywhere. Nothing to talk about? That's part of it. Well, I'm happy to watch for a bit, if you wanted to get a snack or something. Unless someone else has relieved you already. Honestly, it'd be great. My tummy has been rumbling for a while, so just a quick snack would be great. You don't mind watching, do you? Unless you're planning on ditching me here for hours, I think I can wait for you to make a sandwich or something without being a problem. Great, won't be long. Promise. Just something to refuel, and I'll be good to go. Oh, but if anything happens, just yell. Then he heard along inside as I turned to face the woods. No Dominic yet, but he was out there somewhere. I looked over my shoulder at the house, thinking about Dave, thinking about Oswin, thinking about everything that had been done to prevent it happening. Only for us to just disappear. And now those words familiar echoed in my head. When I drifted to the forest, I thought about it. A gamble. Everything hinged on it being gamble. That I would win regardless. If I lost, there were contingencies, so really it wasn't much of a risk on my end. At least not when you considered infinite permutations. But as I found myself stepping off to the side of the grass, taking a look behind me at the mansion, there was still a moment of hesitation as to if I should stay or if I risked it. I had to risk it. The longer I left it, the more changes I gave Dave to try and weasel on coming along after. And I already knew he was planning something. It's gonna be, he walked into the forest alone? It was getting darker the longer I was out here. Nothing autos, no map or flashlight. It was just me and my luck. I must have moved quick, as I didn't hear anyone calling for me back at the house. Maybe they hadn't realized I'd slipped away, though I wasn't surprised by Dean's lack of concern with me not there where he left me. Maybe something had happened. Maybe it wasn't too late to go back. Although I'd have a hard time explaining my rationale for why I left in the first place. And don't. It's not that hard. What? Ooh, that's not Dominic. The voice sent chills up my spine, and I thought I've got to keep moving. Just have to be lucky and run into Dominic. solve all of it long before it can become a problem, then everyone stays safe. That's flawed logic, Roswell. I know it's flawed, but what choice do I have? What the hell are you? You always had a choice. There was a choice, but you struggled to comprehend the way of your actions, the sins clinging onto your back. My eyes narrowed, and I rubbed my eyes to see if I was hallucinating. Nothing. It really was nothing. Pressing myself against a tree, I breathed out, squinting in the dark to see if there was anything I could go off of. My eyes were at the best. My ears could hear water somewhere nearby. The only scent I could get was ruby soil and mushrooms. Dominic? I cautious whisper in hopes that he'd find me instead of the other way around, but to no avail. After more walking, I came across a familiar sight. Wandered over an overturned log, sitting down. You know, this is where you made a big choice that influenced how things turned out. I know. You put yourself closer to death, warned more trauma to save your friends. I think Dave's method was better, if curated by Thanatos. Perhaps. Though, do you regret it? Despite hallucinating a god of death, it was the correct call. Who's to say you're hallucinating? Me, given you look like some sort of mashup between a video game character Orlando told me about and some abstract depiction by Dave. I clutched my head. Was I losing it? Was this a sign on the right of the cusp of actually dying? The sound around me off somehow quieter, turning to look around. I saw a large figure moving in the trees heading towards me. Hey, Dominic. He raised eyebrows, eyes flicking over to the direction of the houses. Well, this is unexpected. Don't worry about it. I just figured I'd come out instead of you waiting to come back to the house. The deal was for Oswin, not his kid. Nephew. No kidding? So I could be collateral enough, I guess. I just want to make sure no one else was going to go in my stead. I don't think the boss is gonna like being shortchanged who he's after. Plus, I'm sure he showed the route off. Plus, who am I showing the route off the mountain to? Show me. I'll just use my psychic powers or something. Pigs have those? I'm hoping I do. You never know. I'm heading to the mansion. I need my boss on the case for screwing this up. He turned to leave and I jumped up, grabbing his fur on the wrist, despite not finding a good purchase on it to stop him properly. Please, just take me, no one else. Give me one good reason. I had to think fast. That'd be something I could offer that could make things easier for him. He was all about easy jobs. Hostage. Go on. No doubt Memphis is going to try to play this exchange as some sort of, I don't know, insurance he gets what he wants, right? But what's stopping Oswin from refusing to cooperate once we leave? I can see the gears turning in his head, thinking it over. So, you take me, then I go get the other city exit, then trade me for Oswin when it's all over. I think the boss would like that. Any chance to hold on to something over someone else he usually takes. His expression went darker, comparative to his normal gruff facade, reaching back and flashing what he was armed. Any funny business though, and this is getting used. Completely understandable. For a good measure, I flashed him a thumbs up and a smile. Though the moment he turned and started guiding me away, I was inwardly surely I wasn't becoming more like Dave, was I? We continued in the dark, silent after all. Please don't tell me we're gonna see Roswell die. Just like how Dave did. After all, we didn't have anything more to say to one another. It was just a business transaction. In the corner of my eye, I could see the hallucination flick in and out of existence between trees, watching me carefully every time I felt my chest tighten. Was it a heart attack? Tiredness? How exactly was I going to end up going? Part of me hoped it was peacefully in my sleep. But now just thinking about it scares me. Would I just go to sleep one night, blissfully unaware, just never wake up? Would I make plans for the day after and then that was it? was lost in the thoughts, with my hallucination trying to wave me down, and I slowed my pace to follow the direction he was pointing, out somewhere in the opposite direction where we were heading, towards darkness. Oh my god, Dave, I am going to fucking slap the shit out of you. He followed him into the fucking woods, bro. Fuck, Dave, are you kidding me? Play the music. I didn't read that, but I don't care. My heart sank and Dom wandered back a few steps, standing behind me. One of his hands found my shoulder and dug painfully tight. Roswell, come back! What are you playing at? Nothing, I swear. What kind of dumbass comes this far out into the woods at this time of night? Someone with a death wish, obviously. That's what you're hoping for? That's where we're going to go. That's where we're going to kill you in favor. That we're going to do you a favor and kill you. I was hoping I could make good on our deal from earlier. Whatever he is doing is just idiotic. Just ignore him and let's keep going. And risk leading him to who knows where else, right where you want to go? Not a chance. Not taking the risk. So what are you planning on doing? He pulled out his gun and spun me face towards where I originally turned, looking for Dave. The metal of his gun at the back of my head. Oh! March. We started walking every now and again. Dave would call out, and we could tell we were getting closer. Maybe we were just getting closer to him. Each step we took was quiet. Dom must have been listening for everyone else. Roswell! He turned to face us as he stepped into view. And despite me being held at gunpoint, he seemed calmer than I expected him to be. Let him go! Well, hey, go ahead and do that. Beat it, kid. You're not supposed to be out here. You were meant to come back inside the house. You were meant to come back to the house. Instead, you kidnapped Roswell. Dave, go back in the house. Everything's gonna be fine, I promise. I don't believe you. Everything has been off today. I don't know what it is, but ever since I woke up this morning, As if cue, he started to space out, thinking about something. Dave, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding around. This guy has a gun pointing at the back of my head, and I'd really like it if you just went back to the house and just stayed safe. Please? I can't do that. I can't say I have a backup or a plan, or really any way of knowing which way the house is. Oh, okay, you just fucked yourself over, Dave. It's a poor attempt at seeming bigger he actually was. He puffed out his chest and breathed in deep. I'm not scared of you. Or Memphis. I felt the shift from the back of my head, the tip of Dom's gun. I knew exactly where he was going and I had to stop it. Dave had to live, otherwise everything would have been for nothing. Dave, run! He didn't move, even with the gun trained on him. Last chance, kid. But still, he didn't move. I had no idea what Dave would be so stubborn, but he was, and it was gonna get him killed. Not without Roswell. Digging deep in, I growled and yelled out, making myself free of Dom's grasp, going for the gun. When I say what? Oh! Wow! Roswell. Please don't tell me he shot Dave. No, he shot Roswell because Roswell went for the gun. Oh, God. Are you okay? Is this Orlando? Huh? What do you mean? You kind of just trailed off there in your whatever you're calling this. Sorry, I guess things are still piecing together in my head. Is Dave in Orlando? So does that mean that's the end? No, there's still more. Let's see. I think... Oh, I remember now. Alright. Just if we need to stop, let me know, alright? No, this part's important. I promise. Wait, huh? I opened my eyes, I found myself talking to... We're playing as Dave? We're in Tyson's route again. What's going on? What's going on? Not that there was anything to go off of. I was in bed, everything I left it. Someone must have brought me here after finding me passed out in the rec room. I checked my phone to see what time it was, and somehow I stepped... Oh boy, it was now morning again. I groaned and rolled out of bed, wondering if there was any way to stop myself from sleeping so much. But as I sat up, the world around me shifted. Memories started to flood back to me while my eyes were even open. Clutching at my head, I wondered if something Thanatos was doing to me, or if I was just falling sick with something. Roswell was... and I... What happened? In a daze, I put on clothes. Something in the back of my mind telling me that I wasn't meant to put on the orange hoodie, or maybe because I knew I wasn't going to anyway. On autopilot, I made my way downstairs. It was quite hinting that I was the only one up, and in the memory, Roswell in the wood with Roswell? I shall be turning my head towards the corridor, and in the basement I find myself hurrying over. Dave! Hey, Roswell! Roswell! I didn't need to look for Thanatos. I knew he would be there already. Somehow I stepped back so he wasn't standing at the top of the stairs. Looking better than you did yesterday. Did the thing Osmond give you helped? Something told me that was the right thing to say. Something vague about Roswell being drugged with some... Oh! All the memories and everything Roswell told Dave. Dave remembers it all. Wait, so this is another timeline. So the genetic memories from those past two timelines, all the memories and everything, Dave remembers it. Oh, wow. How did you... Just give me a second to figure something out. I sat down on the stairs and tried to figure out what was wrong. What was happening to me. It was all familiar. Some sort of strange deja vu experience, but way more vivid. I could remember this conversation. I could remember what happened today Dominic is coming today, right? Yes. Okay, and where's Thanatos? Beats me. My eyes narrowed down to him slightly. My grasp on this conversation was meant to go slipping. Defenestration. He needs to be thrown out a window. Roswell went to say something, but looked stunned instead, awkwardly standing there instead of saying dinner. Hey, can I ask you for a favor today? Depends on the favor. Orlando's probably gonna... Whoa! He's using his own words against him. He's asking Roswell to keep Orlando company instead of Roswell asking Dave. Orlando's probably gonna be a mess today. You know, with everything going on. If it's no trouble, would you be able to keep tabs on him for me? I was gonna, ask me to do it, right? Dave, what's going on? Something's not right about this. You tell me. I don't know. Did something happen? Again, you tell me. I don't know. I just remember things. I got up suddenly thinking it over. Make it two favors. Get the coffee going, please, and I just need to check something real quick. I was gonna be gone before we retort out, heading downstairs 2 at a time before... Oh, we're going to Oswin. As I opened the door to the lab, I slumped forward to the doorway, looking around the dim light. Back already? He looked... Oh, that was Roswell. Dave, what are you doing down here? I closed the door behind me, checking that it was closed all the way before stumbling over. My eyes were trained on his pockets, a slight frown on my face. We need to talk. About... Roswell. Pardon? I dropped myself into the chair beside him and tried to gather my thoughts. So, today, you were going to go into the woods with Roswell, right? That was the plan. That is. Why? It's a terrible idea. Excuse me? Where is this coming from? He'll die, Oswin. Based on what exactly? Vault vision. A huff, he breathed through his nose and turned on his computer, tapping away at the keyboard before shaking his head. Nothing's been recorded for today, or expunged from the record. So I suppose that's moot when circumstances where I would have been coded may have not existed in this aeration. I can prove it. Go on then. The thing in your pocket you were going to give to Roswell when you went into the woods. It's a photo of him and his parents. Whoa, stuff is happening! He pulled the envelope from his pocket and placed it carefully on the desk, saying nothing. I love you. That's what it says on the back. The message you want to pass on to Roswell. How? I don't know. I just do. Renatos? I shrugged, shaking my head. I woke up like this. I woke up like this morning. Something felt off. I could tell Roswell was going to be watching me in the foyer. I have a vague memory about being injured and seeing that photo. I have memories of watching Roswell get shot in the middle of the woods. Well, Dave, where do we go from here? I want the truth. I want the truth from you, in person, as to what's going on. What do you think is going on? You and Roswell are related. He's your nephew? It means he's been here before, in other words. Without a word, he got up, wandered over to the laboratory door, and made sure it was closed before locking it from the inside. Then, just as quietly, wandered over to the side of the room, looking around to make sure it was empty. What are you doing? Making sure a certain rat is around. He continued to search. Only once he was satisfied and sat back down. Nothing else? Correct. Nothing else. So, before I say anything more, I need you to swear to me that what I tell you does not leave this room. Act upon it if you wish, but in no way can this information be relayed in any form outside this room. And if I don't want to promise that, get out. Those are my terms. All right, I promise. Swear on your father, may he rest in peace. I swear. Tension faded immediately, and he breathed out, rubbing the bridge of his nose. You're wrong, you know. About? I'm not Roswell's uncle. And that's the truth? I swear upon the life of the son that does not know the truth. But that... Huh? What? I just remembered something. Ha said when you made yourself known that first time. Ah, yes, that. But Roswell doesn't really know. To be frank, if he comes to the conclusion on his own, yet he has to raise his mother, and I decided it was best to skirt around the issue. But why? If what I remember of that picture is correct, then how can he not know? Roswell was born the day my brother died. The medical trial went our way. As you can imagine, those tragedies of what happened left me in no state to raise a child. So the lie we told Roswell that his father was no longer around. But you are, though. The same man that desired a family. I wanted to be a better father than the one he had. No longer in a position to raise him. That was in the past, though. And in time it took for me to recover, he was already properly settled in calling his another man his father. I had no right to take that away from him. That's so sad, though. You make sacrifices for the ones you love, Dave. You, more than anyone, should know that. He flipped in his chair, looking me over. What other wisdom have you gleaned from this memory of yours? If Roswell has been here before, why lie about it? Come now, Dave. You know the answer to that. Yeah, but I don't want to believe it. Then what would you believe? That this was all just happening by chance? No, but it's still something that's a lot to take in before coffee. That makes two of us. So if Roswell's been here before, he's Thanatos' master, right? Well, it's certainly not myself repenting. Alright, any idea where he is now? What are you planning on doing? I just want to tell him what I remember. See what he thinks. If this is the first time I remembered, or like, you know. Please be careful. Please be careful what you say to him. If he relays what I told you to Roswell, what relationship I have with my son, as fragile as it is, could be ruined forever. Don't worry, I swore on it, remember? I trust you, Dave. Be careful. If I had to guess, check Roswell's room. Try not to be so long. I'll be back. We still need to figure out what the plan is for later. I just need to get my facts straight. At the lab, entering the basement again. Roswell had a lot to explain, but without the understanding of what was happening the first time there, it wouldn't have been much of a point. I used the door open to Roswell's room, and it seemed like everyone else was preoccupied with one thing or another. I was able to make the journey there unnoticed. Someone having breakfast in the middle outside. Alice was sitting on Roswell's bed, unmoved. No signs of Roswell either. Carefully wandering back to reach for him, stopping just short before it. This is boring. Lazily, he turned to me and locked eyes. Maybe he was expecting Roswell. Maybe it was in days only a robot could. Deb, what are you doing? Why did your voice change? This is how I normally sound. So, I have a couple questions. Sorry, but I'm busy. You'll have to come back later. I know Roswell is your master. He did a double take, looking past me at the closed door to the bedroom. He's not my master. He is. Oswald confirmed it. But there's more important things I want to ask. So, can we not play around with you trying to trick me into wondering if Oswald is lying? No, why would I do that? How would you change how you sound once you realized it was me in the room with you? I told you, this is how I normally sound. Rolled my eyes, sitting back down on Roswell's bed. So, question 1. Did you force me to have a vault vision last night? No. Alright, question 2. Do you know what's supposed to happen today? Yes, Dominic will come later and collect Oswald and that's what I want to know. Who goes? I have conflicted memories. Conflicting how? Actually, better question, what do you mean by memories? This happened before? Yeah, it's strange. Like, today's already happened before. Vague memories about how things were meant to go, but now it's different? How different? Well, I came downstairs and I knew Roswell was spying on me. I knew he was going to ask me to hang out with Orlando today, but instead I asked him to do it first. Interesting. So we have a problem. I have vague memories about me going into the woods tonight. It's just all kinds of jumbled up, but I remember parts? What parts? I remember the walk out into the woods with Oswin. I remember maybe leaving? Anything useful? I also remember the situation where I run into Roswell and Dominic in the woods. Roswell held at gunpoint and is, shot. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so Roswell was shot. Now started a piece if he was sneezing. Give me 5 minutes. He sat down and became very still, almost like he was first to enter the room. I don't understand. What exactly don't you understand? The memory checks out. 2 aerations ago, you went out with Oswald into the woods and returned dead, carried in Tyson's arms. The aeration after that, I relayed that information to Roswell, and for some dumb reason, he went out instead. And then got killed. Pretty much. So if me going out results in my death, and Roswell going out results in his, then what option do we have? Honestly, we could have another go at sending Roswell out. His problem was that he went out after you started acting funny, thinking you'd follow. Which you did. Did I say why? Nope. Thought if you had to guess, you'd be thing where you want to save everyone. For my friend. Yeah, Mr. Hero Complex, I hear ya. So, what happens now? Beats me. Tell me something, and be honest. Roswell this whole time has been behind everything going on, right? To try and, keep you alive? Yes. But why? Why me specifically? That's not something I should answer. I stood up and went to the door, leaving Thanatos on the bed. Oi, where you going? You stay here. I need to go talk to Roswell. Locked Thanatos in the Roswell's room, or at the very least close the door to make escape harder. Then, following Orlando's voice towards the rec room, I looked to see if Roswell was in fact keeping me busy. So sitting quietly next to Orlando, talking hurriedly about something, it was all clear the conversation was one-sided, even with the video games idling in front of them. Hey. The tone of my voice reminded me that I had yet to have coffee, and I was still surprised that they hadn't made a move to get breakfast, or was still downstairs. Dave, is something going on? Nothing, just checking in. Everything alright? Everything's fine. Doesn't seem fine with how you're staring at Roswell like that. I haven't had coffee yet. I'll get some in a minute. Oh, sure. Hey, Orlando, can I ask a favor? Of course, what's up? Can you step outside the room for a sec? I need to have a talk with Roswell. Privately. What about? Nothing serious, I promise. Just important enough that I need to talk to him alone. If you understand what's happening now, right? What's happening today and with everyone being on edge and everything? I know. This is related to that. then I can stay. If it's important, then why does it have to be a secret from the group? It would need to be a secret until I can ask Roswell some things. After our talk, then we can tell the group. Promise? With a nod, he stood up slowly, looking between me and Roswell, heading to the door. Alright, well, don't take too long. Oh, I thought he closed the door behind. Ooh, okay. Ooh. Guys, Ren is online. All right. Roswell. Dave. I slumped towards him, confused, scared, angry, all at the same time. When I got close enough, I dropped to my knees in front of him as he sat on the beanbag, and I grabbed him roughly by the shirt. I wanted to punch him. I wanted to hug him. I didn't know exactly where to land, but he broke the silence first by putting a hand on mine. Are you okay? It was questioned. I wasn't sure I had the right answer to it. I shook my head all the same. How could you? How could I what? It was you! This whole time, it was you! Putting our friends in danger, and for what? It was a dry gasp of air instead of a chuckle. I needed a glass of water or something as I could feel my head starting to pound. To keep me alive? To stop me from dying? He let his hands fall away and stayed quiet. Say something, asshole! I snarled, reeling fist back to throw a punch once I felt Tyson's influence rubbing off on me. But at the same time, Roswell didn't even flinch, just looked at me with sad, tired eyes. Go on, Dave. It'll make it better than... Instead, I just grabbed him again, throwing my arms around him in the hug. Did you ever think to tell me what was happening? Did you ever think that maybe I would have wanted the choice? You never listened. Then I was just... He shook his head, looking me in the eye. Let's start at the beginning. I guess. Maybe sit down, because this is going to sound crazy. This sure will sound crazy, but it's gonna sound crazy in the next episode. Yo, so much shit happened today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe. And we got Tyson back on the title screen. Please make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. Trust or Dave or I don't care. See you guys in the next video. Oh, I'm so excited to get back to this, guys. Bye-bye.